was a joy to sit and watch them work and watch how they put that thing together. It was very early in my career of television. So I was theatre acting. And every now and then I would think, you know, God, I'm being way too big for this. But Billy would say, don't worry about it, man. You just go with it, bro, because this thing is about being as big as we can, and people will find their way to understand this. It's quite an extraordinary thing, because people still, every now and then, think, oh man, I remember you and Billy T. James. What did we do? Turangi Vice. That was the silliest thing when I look back at it, and I've seen it a few times now. They do reruns of it. I love it. You know, it's just so funny. The cast was extraordinary. That was a pleasure to work on. It really cut my storytelling ability for the camera on that. I did 3 years of that, so it was like every day I was doing something. The fact that I was Samoan, playing that role, we were still making that transition in television of having brown people in those kind of lead role, leader type situations. So I felt the responsibility of that. So being able to play with that character and how straight-laced he was and how very focused on what it was right and what my career was going to be and all of this, and the conflict between Russell's character and all of these. It was, I enjoyed finding that way through as well, working in that area. You shoot maybe 10, 15 minutes, or more than that, nearly an episode a day, you know. That's extraordinary after coming off Shark and Park, which I thought was fast, and then obviously doing film where you're really happy to get 2-3 minutes a day. You had to sharpen yourself as an actor to be able to work both cameras, 2 or 3 cameras happening at the same time, working with the character that you're with, and still being able to hold everything and think, okay, this is going to go into that shot, and then that's going to go into this part of the story, and okay, I don't know this bit yet, so that was another good piece of learning for me. Basically, we were put on Rapa Nui for up to 5 months. A lot of conflict happened in there. The conflict between the Rapa Nui indigenous people and the Chilean government, and it was boiling all the time. We either became very, very good friends, the cast, or we just don't see each other anymore. It was a hard time. My youngest daughter was born, I think 2 months before I had to go, and I didn't get back until she was nearly 6 months. And I always think, that's a period of her life that I missed, you know. But in saying that, it was another part of my learning how to be who I am, really, and what I do. I was reaching a point about that time where the directors and producers would just ask me to do roles because they knew I had that. So I wasn't auditioning at all, you know. And so it was, they'd give me the script and they'd say, this is the character, you do what you want with it. And so it would come to shooting days, and you know, the people that I'm working with, the lead characters would walk in, and I would just wait to hear what they were doing, and then I'd react to it. And it became quite a, which I really enjoyed, a heightened sense of being on camera when everyone was so used at that time to, okay, you say your bit, I'll say my bit, and we'll do it like this. The one person was just waiting then, and it just, that's the way I wanted that character to be, and everyone went with it. The freedom in that. When they asked me to play the role in there of Uglock, they said it's full prosthetics. And that required it coming down to about here, you know, halfway down the torso, and then a full bodysuit with, you know, all the makeup and all the teeth and the eyes and the hours that it would take, and it would take hours. Then you could spend up to 12 hours a day in that situation, and that sometimes meant fight scenes, running. You're under big, heavy lights. It does take a special kind of mindset to be able to stay calm and all of that for 12 hours. But I have to say that I don't think I'd ever do it again, you know. That was the first time I sort of felt a little uneasy that someone would always be making me a cup of coffee, or would always be getting me something, or would walk beside me with an umbrella. Or it's not something that we in New Zealand are used to, you know. And I actually brought it up with when we were having lunch one time with Hugo and Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne. And Lawrence actually said, you know, if they're not doing this, they haven't got a job. And there are a lot of people who will actually give their right arm to be working on the Matrix or in films. It didn't make me feel much better, but you know, I understood what he was trying to say. And I still can't believe how much people either identify or relate to these movies. You know, they dress up like these people and they talk like them and they know everything about what you've done or what you're about to do, or why you want to do this, and you know the questions they keep asking. Sort of, what does the Matrix actually mean? You know, they were great fun. I've known the boys for a long, long time. When they asked me to play the minister, I said, okay, what does he do? Well, pretty much what you do when you're directing us and telling us what to do. Okay, come on, we'll do it. Again, it wasn't work for me. It was going along and seeing how the boys were and talking to them and catching up with them and playing with them again, you know. And it was really a joy for me to do both movies. It did an extraordinary thing, those two movies. That opening up of the Pacific Island, the way the Pacific Islanders relate to this, well, younger ones relate to the New Zealand society, and how their connection to the American kind of hip-hop scene and that kind of thing, culture, influences them. It's an interesting, it'll be looked back on as, you know, that's a snapshot of a progression of Pacific Island people. It was the first New Zealand entry into Foreign Language Academy Awards. It was New Zealand's first, and it was in Samoan. We had a lot of people say, you won't do anything, it can't work, it's in a different language, you know, people won't go and see it. We knew they were wrong. If the story's in there and the beauty's in there, then I was privileged to work on that as well. It just, you know, it just seems there are moments in my career where I'm working on things that I know people will look back on, and they're already doing it, thinking that was an important moment for Pacific Islanders or for Indigenous film, and that was this and that was that. And so I think I've been very fortunate to have started when I started, to have actually been able to be part of the development of in the growth of theatre, television and film in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm pleased where my career has been. I'm happy to have been part of some of the things that I think that will be important and are important in our industry.